It's straight from the script of Hollywood movie Dallas Buyers Club. An Australian man in his 60s is taking on a global pharmaceutical company. Greg Jeffries has supplied more than 100 Australians who have hepatitis C with life-saving drugs from India because he says the Australian medical system has failed them. But doctors and the pharmaceutical industry are warning patients against bypassing medical safeguards. Michael Atkin reports.
Greg Jeffries starts each day with a paddle along Hobart's Derwent River. But a year ago, he was far too sick to kayak and couldn't even get out of bed.
I love kayaking, fishing, going gold prospecting, rock fossicking. You know, I'm an outdoors sort of person. I just couldn't do any of that anymore, you know.
The 61-year-old was struck down by hepatitis C, contracted after injecting heroin as a teenager. The infectious disease can lead to serious illness, including liver failure and cancer, and kills 630 Australians every year.
I was right on the edge of cirrhosis of the liver. Once you get cirrhosis of the liver, you then open up to tumours and cancer and stuff like that.
Hope of a cure came in the form of a new medication called sofosbuvir, marketed in Australia as Sovaldi. The drug's manufacturer, US pharmaceutical giant Gilead, claims a 90% success rate.
I'm not my disease. That doesn't define who I am. I am cured. I am.
But there was a catch for Greg Jeffries. He couldn't afford the hefty price tag.
You need a minimum of 84 of these, so it's $100,000 for a treatment. If you haven't got the money, a lot of people, that's a death sentence, you die.
Greg Jeffries didn't want to die, so he looked for a way to get the drugs he needed at a cheaper price. His search took him to the Indian city of Chennai.
The same treatment with the same drug in India is $900. So it's cheap there because the Indian government didn't recognise Gilead's patents. Within 11 days, all my liver functions had returned to normal. Within 4 weeks, there was no virus detectable in my blood.
Greg Jeffries decided to share his Indian discovery and set up a blog and Facebook group to help sick Australians buy the cheaper drug. Word spread fast.
I actually had cirrhosis of the liver, so that was a huge surprise. I'm F4, and that's not too far from needing a liver transplant.
Within weeks of contacting Greg Jeffries, the life-saving drugs Margaret Sonneman needed were on their way.
So I was making this little trip to the letterbox every day, trying to find out 4 days out of Melbourne what had happened to my $100,000 worth of medication. And here it was hanging out the back of the letterbox with a big hole in it. But fortunately, it was all here.
I've located a group, a charity group in India that's very reliable, very honest, and people who need the medication contact me. I facilitate the process. And the group in India sends the medication direct to the patients.
Keep holding if you can, keep holding, beautiful, and take a breath in for me.
At Sydney's Liverpool Hospital, Dr Miriam Levy treats patients suffering from liver cancer every day. She knows how desperate patients are to access Sovaldi, but is concerned about people buying the drug online.
You know, I mean, you do that if you're a bodybuilder and you want to buy things online to make yourself look beautiful. You shouldn't have to do that if you've got a serious liver, a serious health problem in Australia. It is crazy.
The drug was recommended for listing on the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme in March, but the whopping price tag is stopping the federal government from signing a deal. Dr Levy is calling on Gilead to significantly lower the price.
They have a Volvo, in my view, and they're selling it at Rolls-Royce prices. And the reason why they can do that is because there's no other cars.
However, Medicines Australia, the peak body for big drug companies, believes that PBS listing could happen soon. An Australian patient should wait instead of going overseas.
The consumer copay would be the standard $37.70. So again, our advice to patients is to put your faith and trust in the Australian system in terms of safety, quality and efficacy.
In the first 6 months of this year, Gilead made $11 billion in income. Medicines Australia argues the huge profit margin is justifiable because of the time and effort put into research and development.
The average time for a new medicine to be invented and brought to the marketplace is 10 to 15 years. The average cost for a new medicine to make it to, indeed, patients is $2.6 billion.
Greg Jeffries doesn't make any money assisting others to buy cheaper drugs. His reward is the benefit of seeing the health improvements in the people he's helping.
Well, I just got a phone call from Kerry.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
All clear. The virus is completely gone.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
She said,
Gilead has said it's watching India closely to make sure the medication isn't diverted and sold to Westerners looking for a bargain. But Greg Jeffries isn't concerned about the consequences and plans to continue on in open defiance.
Well, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not worried about it. What I'm doing is completely legal, completely bona fide. I've got a clear conscience, have they?